Hello and good morning all of you. Friends, we are on the third lecture of Unit 2 and we were discussing this topic, pilgrimage and storytelling, in reference to the tale of wife of Bath. So, in the last class you must be surprised to see the way English language was written in the 14th century. For Chaucer, it was the most modern kind of English language, because he chose East Midland dialect, which was again a kind of, let us say, experiment which he wished to do, because most of the other writers were writing in Latin, French or other popular languages of the age. But why Chaucer is known as the father of English poetry or the father of modern English? The reason is this only, because Chaucer preferred to write in East Midland dialect. That dialect for you might be old fashioned and outdated, but when we are analyzing any author, it is our responsibility to put ourselves in the shoes of that author, and only then we will try to understand that why that author is known as the, let us say, shining star or the most popular author of his or her age. So, in the last class we let us say discussed the many lines of the poem, or maybe we can say that 1/3 of the tale of wife of Bath, and in those 1670 slides we saw that there is a knight in the time of King Arthur, and that knight rapes a girl who is a virgin girl. The girl goes to the court and King Arthur wanted to give, let us say, to behead this knight, but suddenly he, let us say, leaves his punishment to his queen. Queen says that she is going to give 12 months and 1 day to this knight, and in that time duration knight has to go and identify the answer to the question which queen wished to seek. And what is that question? The question is that what women desire most. Now, knight with, let us say, with tiring legs, he leaves the court, because he thinks that if he is not able to get the answer to this question, he is going to be beheaded, he will be killed after 1 year and 1 day. He goes and meets many women, and different women had different, let us say, answers to this question, and we have discussed all of them in the last class. Some women say that they love rich men, some women say that they love men who, let us say, follow their orders. Some women say different things and some women say different things. So, knight is getting confused. More and more he meet women and talk to them, the more he gets confused, because no woman gives the same answer. So, in this confusion he is wandering here and there. Between there is also one mythological reference which comes in the poem, which we had discussed, about a lady, mythological character, who do not know how to, let us say, keep secrets in her mind, although her husband promises that he is not going to reveal that secret to anyone, but the women, according to, let us say, her nature, she want to tell at least something about that secret to other women or other people of her locality. So, that was something which we had discussed in the last, let us say, class till line number 968. In this class also, in this 30 minutes lecture, we will, let us say, try to get the outcome as same we did in the last lecture, because the topic is same, pilgrimage and storytelling, and the outcome is to comprehend the setting of pilgrimage and storytelling in the light of the select text. So, what is the setting of this pilgrimage? What is, let us say, the setting of this storytelling? How Chaucer proves himself as a very different kind of storyteller of the 14th century? All these questions will be answered while step by step discussion, line by line analysis, line by line comprehension of this poem, The Tale of Wife of Bath. So, with this note, let us begin discussion from line number 969 of this poem, The Tale of Wife of Bath. And since she dared tell it to no men, she ran down to a marsh close by. Until she came there, her heart was afire. So, this mythological character about which we were talking in the last class, she is unable to bear that secret in herself. She wished to tell it to someone. She dared tell it to men. So, she dared not to tell it to any person. And then she ran down here and there to marsh close by. Marsh means let us say open area with shrubs, etc. She runs here and there in that open area. Until she came there, her heart was afire, and her heart was in the fire until she came at the right place. And as a bittern bumbles in the mire, she laid her mouth down into the water. And then she is unable to, let us say, bear that secret in herself. So, she put her mouth under the water which was flowing nearby, and let us say when she puts her mouth inside that water, she says, "Betray me not, thou water, with thy sound." And then she says that to that water that do not betray me, because let us say because of your sound I am saying something to you. She said, "To thee I tell it and no others. My husband has 2 long ass's ears." And then she reveals this secret when she puts her mouth in the water, because she thinks that nobody is going to hear that. Her mouth is inside the water, maybe that water is of a lake or a river. She puts her mouth inside it, and then she reveals that secret to water, that her husband has 2 long ass's ears. So, that was something which she wished to tell someone. "Now is my heart all whole, now is it out." And then she reveals, she relaxes, and then she says that her heart is now, let us say, whole. It becomes complete. Let us say now the secret is out from her mouth. I could no longer keep it without doubt. And now she no longer keep it. She had, let us say, circulated this secret to someone else without any doubt. Here you may see, though we a time abide, yet out it must come, we can hide no secret. So, the moral of this story is, which we can see, observe through this story, is that we a time abide. So, we are, let us say, abided by a kind of time in which we are living, yet out it must come. So, it must come out, the reveal, the secret must come out from the mouth of the ladies. We can hide no secret. So, the ladies cannot hide any secret, it is something which they have to reveal. The remnant of the tale, if you will hear, read Ovid, and there you may learn it. So, then Chaucer further says that the secret of this tale, if you will hear about it, you will read Ovid and there may learn it. You may learn something from the discussion on this tale. There is something which is important for you. This knight, of whom my tale is in particular, when he saw, he might not come to that. Wife of Bath, who is narrating this tale, she further says that the knight who had raped that girl, of whom my tale is in particular, about that knight this tale is, let us say, narrating, discussing. When he saw, he might not come to that. When he saw, let us say, this condition, he might not come to any conclusion. He is very confused because every lady is giving a different answer. This is to say what women love most, and he is trying to find out the answer, that what women love most. What is the expectation of women from men? What is something that can, let us say, reveal the secret nature of females? Within his breast very sorrowful was the spirit, but home he goes, he could not linger. So, now this knight is completely confused. Somewhere deep in his breast he is very sorrowful, his spirit is very tensed, and with that, let us say, heavy heart, he goes to his house. He could not linger, he cannot, let us say, sleep, take rest, he is disturbed. The day was come that homewards he must return, and in this, let us say, complete state of confusion, 1 year and 1 day passes. So, he must turn back to the, let us say, to the court of King Arthur, where he is going to get the capital punishment if he can't answer the question of the queen. And in his way he happened to ride in all this care near a forest side. So, in his way, when he is, let us say, going to King Arthur's court, he happened to ride, he is riding on his horse, and all this care near a forest side, and he is caring about the answer to this question, and he is, let us say, near to a forest side, where he saw upon a dance go ladies 24 and yet more, and suddenly he sees that there is a dance going on nearby, and there are 24 ladies who are in that group, and even more than that, who are dancing in that situation. Towards the which dance he drew very eagerly, in hope that he should learn some wisdom. So, he stops there looking at the dance of those witches, let us say, different kind of dance. He is very curious to see that, and maybe he thinks that he is going to learn something, some wisdom from this, let us say, dance. But certainly before he came full there, and suddenly, let us say, he reaches to the place where he wanted to reach. Vanished was this dance, he knew not where, and suddenly the dance vanishes from there. All the, let us say, ladies vanish from that place. He saw no creature that bore life, save on the green he saw sitting a woman, and suddenly all the ladies, let us say, they are gone somewhere, and only one lady who is sitting on a green grass at that place. There can no man imagine an uglier creature, at the night's coming this old wife did rise. And then, let us say, wife of Bath explains the portrait of this lady. This lady is an old and ugly kind of creature, and let us say, as soon as she sees that there is a knight who is looking at her, she rises from her place and said, Sir Knight, there lies no road out of here. Tell me what you seek by your faith. And then she asked this question to the knight, that what is something that you are seeking here? What kind of question you wish to know? Let us say, you wish to ask from me. There is no road outside, you cannot go somewhere out. Tell me what you seek by your faith. What do you wish to, let us say, seek? What are you seeking for in this forest? Perhaps it may be the better. These old folk know many things, she said. And then she says that I am a very wise lady because I am old. I had many years of experience of life. So, maybe I can answer your question. My dear mother, said this knight, certainly I am as good as dead unless I can say. And then the knight says, knight calls this old lady as a mother, and then he says that I am as good as dead. He says that soon he is going to die. King Arthur is going to behead him, unless I can say what thing it is that women most desire. So, he says that if he can't find the answer to this question, that what women most desire, he will be killed. If you could teach me, I would well repay you. And then knight says that I am going to repay you if you answer this question to me. Pledge me thy word here in my hand, she said, the next thing that I require of thee, thou shalt do it if it lies in thy power, and I will tell it to you before it is night. And the lady says that you have to take a vow in front of me that you will follow my command, my instructions, if I answer this question to you. Then she says that before this night I will answer this question to you, and if lies in the power, I am not going to lie, I am give you the correct answer to this question. Have here my pledge word, said the knight, I agree. And then the knight give his words. He says that I agree with your words, please give me the answer to this question, that is a matter of life and death for me. Then she said, I dare me well boast, thy life is safe, for I will stand thereby. And then she says, I am going to save your life now, I will stand for you. Let us say your life is safe with my existence in your life. Upon my life the queen will say as I. And then she says that I will stand between you and death now. Take me to the queen and I will give the answer to this question to that queen. Let us see which is the, let us say, proudest of them all, that wears a kerchief or a hairnet, that dares say, nay, of what I shall teach thee. And then she says that whatever kind of women one can meet, all demand only this thing. And then she, let us say, starts his journey with knight towards the court of King Arthur. Let us go forth without longer speech. Then she whispered a message in his ears and commanded him to be glad and have no fear. And then she asks that lady, that old lady, she asks the knight that let us move forward, and she whispers a message in the ears of the knight that not to fear, I am going to answer this and your life will be saved. When they are come to the court, this knight said he had held his day as he had promised. And then the knight reaches to the court of King Arthur and he announces that he has followed, let us say, his words, and he is now back to the court of King Arthur following the instructions of the queen. And his answer was ready, as he said, very many a noble wife and many a maid and many a widow, because they are wise, the queen herself sitting as a justice. So then knight sees, he, let us say, looks at the let us say the court of the lady, that queen, and he says that there are many kind of ladies who are sitting there. Few are noble wives of gentlemen, few are maids, few are widows, but all of them are wise ladies and nobody can befool them. And the queen, who is the most intelligent lady out of those women, cannot be befooled by any kind of, let us say, false answer to her question, are assembled to hear his answer. And there in that court there are many ladies who wish to hear the answer of this knight. And afterward this knight was commanded to appear. Silence was commanded to every person, and that the knight should tell in open court. And then everywhere, let us say, queen asked everyone to be silent in that court. Silence was commanded to every person, and so that knight can tell in the open court what thing it is that worldly women love best. So the knight is going to answer this question, that what kind of, let us say, things worldly women love best in this situation. This knight stood not silent as does a beast. So now this knight who has come to talk to queen, he cannot, let us say, stand silently in such a situation like a beast, because everyone wished to listen his answer. But to his question straight away answered with manly voices, so that all the court heard it. And then the knight starts to speak. Let us say straight away he wished to answer in a manly voice, he is very confident. All the court is going to hear the answer of this knight. My leggy lady without exception, he said, women desire to have sovereignty as well over her husband as her love, and to be in mastery above him. And then this knight answers this question. What was the question? That what women desire most. And the answer which that old lady gave whispered in the ear of the knight. And the knight declares in this quote, he says that women desire to have sovereignty. Sovereignty means dominance over men, freedom over men. Women need complete freedom as well over her husband as her love. So, women need that kind of freedom, that kind of dominance over their husbands also and over their, let us say, lovers also, and to be in mastery above him. And then these women want to, let us say, master, to command, let us say, their lovers. This is your greatest desire, though you kill me. Do as you please, I am here subject to your will. And then this knight says, he directly addresses to queen, and he says that your greatest desire is also this. Although you can kill me for my direct addressing to you, but this is something which is absolutely right. This is truth. Do as you please, I am here subject to your will. He says, now I have answered my question. Do whatever you wish to do, and I am here subject to your will. You are going to, let us say, decide, you are going to wish how my life is going to be next. In all the court, there was not wife, not maid, nor widow that denied what he said. And there are many ladies sitting in that court, but not a single lady denied, let us say, the response of that knight. Whether they are wives, maids or widows, nobody denied, let us say, the answer of this knight, but said that he was worth to have his life. And then all ladies said that the answer is correct, so knight must get freedom. He must not be killed, he will be, his life should be saved. And with that word up sprang the old women whom the knight saw sitting on the green. And then that old lady who was found tonight in that forest, she stood up, and knight, let us say, looks at her. Mercy, she said, my sovereign lady queen. And then that old lady, she says mercy, she asks mercy for that person, that knight. She says, my sovereign lady queen. She says that you are supreme, you are powerful, you are sovereign, so please show some mercy. Before your court departs, do me justice. I taught this answer to the knight. And then she reveals the secret that she was the one who gave this answer to knight. She says, before your court departs, please do me a justice. I gave this answer to this knight, for which he pledged me his words there. The first thing that I would ask to him, he would do if it lay in his power. So she says that I would ask him to do whatever, let us say, I want to, and he is going to do that if it lays in his power, if it, let us say, falls into his power. Before the court then, I pray thee, Sir Knight, said she, that thou take me as thy wife, for well thou know that I have saved thy life. And then she says that in lieu she demands to get married to this knight, and that is something which she is going to take for protecting the life of this knight, saving the life of this knight from women, let us say, queen's wrath. If I say false, say nay upon the faith. This knight answered, alas and woe is me. And then she says that knight has vowed in front of him, he cannot deny his words. On the faith of that knight, she has given that answer to him. And then knight answers that this is, alas, he is very sad, because now he has to marry an old lady who was a motherly figure for him in the beginning. And then he says that it is my woe, I cannot deny my words. I know right well that such was my promise, for God's love choose a new request. And then he says, although I am not denying my promise, but if you have any other request, please ask rather than this one. Take all my goods and let my body go. And then knight says that I do not wish to marry you. You can take all my goods, whatever, let's say, precious possessions I have, but please allow my body to go from here. Nay, then, she said, I curse both of us too, for though I am ugly and old and poor, I would not for all the metal, not for ore. And then this lady says that if you do this, if you disobey me, I will curse both of us, you and me. Although I am ugly, I am old, I am poor, but I do not need your money, your precious possessions, metal. Metal means the, let's say, the money which this knight has, nor for ore that under earth is buried or lies above. And then she says, not ever any kind of property which lies buried in the earth, nor any kind of property which is above earth. So she says that I don't want anything which exists in this world. Have anything except that I were thy wife and also thy love. And then she says that the only thing which I wish is I need to get the love and, let's say, become the wife of this knight. My love, he said, nay, my damnation, alas, that any of my family should ever be so folly degraded. He says that although I will be degraded, and this kind of act is not committed by anyone in my family, but all for naught. The end is this, that he constrained was he must be necessarily wed her. But there was no option left. He had given his words. So he has to follow the instructions of that lady. So he has no, let's say, choice left, and in that condition of necessity, he had to wed this lady and takes his old wife and goes to bed. And then he, let's say, takes this old lady and he goes to bed. It means he marries to this lady and they, let's say, goes to the wedding night, which happens after marriage. Now would some men say perhaps that because of my negligence I make no effort to tell you the joy and all the rich display that was all the wedding feast that same day. And then wife of Bath says that now would some men may say perhaps, she says that some men may, let's say, think about this tale that because of my negligence I make no effort. She says that I don't want to, let's say, put any effort to surprise men because she want to neglect them, to tell you the joy and all the rich display. She wished to, let's say, give the joy to them, all kind of riches to them, and that was all the wedding feast that day. And on that wedding day there was a feast given to many people, to which thing shortly I will answer. I say there was no joy nor feast at all. So although the people were given feast where they have to eat, drink and enjoy and dance, but nobody was happy on that marriage of this old lady and this young knight. There was no joy, no feast at all in this situation. There was nothing but heaviness and much sorrow. So the knight is very much disturbed, and same is with the people who came to know about this incident. The hearts were heavy and there was too much sorrow everywhere, for he wedded her in private in the morning. And which is why the knight, let's say, wedded her privately in the morning, because he do not wish to, let's say, answer this situation. He was confused that what he is going to get from this, let's say, this marriage. So friends, you can see that the story is getting more and more interesting, and the last part, the fourth lecture of unit 2 is going to surprise you that what is going to happen next in the story. So with this note, I end today's lecture, and let us look forward to the next lecture where the story of wife of Bath is going to end. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening.